Avatar Legends, the fighting game. I'm so excited for it just because growing up as a kid, growing up as a teen, I watched this series non-stop multiple times. So really looking forward to all the characters and just pretty much how this game is going to be played. I'm also here to announce that I will be the community ambassador for this game. And first things first, there will be a closed alpha coming soon. So make sure you guys follow on all the social channels, Avatar_fighters, for a chance to apply for this playtest. And lastly, we partner up with Evo to reveal this world premiere gameplay trailer. So make sure you guys check it out, and we will see you soon in the closed alpha.
It's a beautiful presentation in its own right. And can you believe that there's a handful of people out there, until they got vibe checked, that actually hated the art design that they chose? Like, that's really beautiful hand-drawn animation.
It's jarring for what we expect, but it is what we probably should have expected from Avatar,
Right.
if we are being honest. So, can't be mad at it. I was more like, I understand that like hand-drawn animation went into it. I'm more concerned about the like how well it'll flow together despite being hand-drawn as a fighting game instead of like a hack and slash.
I like that there's just so much that it looks like that does offer in the enrichment process, from the design to the engine that it's ran on, because the way that the flow, I liked how the flow of movement and response worked in a lot of that example.
Okay.
I don't know if there's motion inputs with it though.
I don't know. And I can't take Justin's word for it because Justin signs off on a lot of things.
And that's fair. That's why it pays to. Not saying he's not a credible source, but I'm just saying it pays to do your homework as opposed to just listening to one person's take on it.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, never even heard of that. That's actually a good example that he gave for Zeta. Be that as
I wonder
it
if they're gonna do it. We already saw they're not gonna do the adult forms yet. Maybe. I'm curious to see if they'll do comics. They have Avatar has comics after it ends, so we got to see like adult Aang, adult Katara, etc., but not old. So.
Okay. Let me see, what else are they talking about over here? Then the first wave of this, there's going to be the closed alpha that they have coming up on December 5th to the 7th, so I'm definitely going to try and see if I can get involved on that. I got a self-bookmarked for it, and they did have an update for it at this time, too. It was at the beginning of November when they first talked about it. North and South America are the only regions that are available for the December 5th to 7th closed alpha playtest. However, we can confirm that there will be a second closed alpha playtest and it will be a global closed alpha. So you have to stay tuned for more information in the near future. Past issue with the non-disclosure agreement form not being able to be signed, and so looking into that, they updated it in order to just remove that whole NDA section, so that way you can just fill out the form without any issues.
Yeah, which I don't think that NDA is going to be upheld by a lot of people, to be honest. But I hope it does, because I want to see more companies do things like that. That makes sense.
No, that does feel better.
It makes sense for an ingest, I guess.
Sort this out. File. Show them the main channel. That's all there is to it. Then, if you want to out there, you can also do that likewise, which you're still up writing. Playtest runs the weekend from December 5th until the 7th. How many hours during the playtest could you reasonably dedicate to testing? I want to do the bare minimum in my own regard and then surprise myself by going more. 'Cause I feel like I could do 8 to 14, but I would reasonably want to say probably 4 to 7. Are you comfortable providing written feedback but reporting balance notes? Yes. Honestly, no, I haven't. I missed my chance to be a part of the Rivals closed alpha. That was the last one I knew about. Oh, just redirects you there. Official Avatar The Legends Fighting Games Sylvia. Yay, that's one more in the bucket in trying to not get to 100 Discord servers. In that bitch. You can, well, I like how that appears underneath the persona server for some reason. Okay, in there. So I've joined the privacy policy. So let me get redirected, figure out what it is. Privacy policy. Account means unique account created for you to access our services, affiliate, application, business. Kipra. Oh, that's the California Consumers Act. Do not track as a concept and participation, lab, personal data, collection and use of the data. That's what part of what any game really tries to do if you have an account with it in order to give you the best to your specifications, personal data. Services are not directed to individuals. Okay, yes, it's specific, so there's a cutoff there. Yeah, so they really did take off the the NDA that was because this feels like these are all like specifics to an NDA.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Okay. Copy of your responses will be emailed. Alright, well, now let's do that. Alright, thank you for signing up. We'll let those who were accepted into the program soon after signups are closed on 11/20. So I signed in there just in time. Alright, let's head back to the Twitter. Alright, let's see if we get it later on down the line. Worst thing they could do is say no.
Right.
It's actually kind of funny. This is one dude out of hundreds of people that's disappointed. Disappointed in the fact there being an Avatar game. I would like to see voice line interactions, honestly. Yeah, these are a lot of really beautiful interactions, honestly. What else is here? Talked about those issues. There's one that they talked about with the handful of the players or the list that was here. I was just reading it. Avatar Legends wish list. Go back in here because I was reading this originally where there were people that were talking about like the wish list on what they think was going to be like some of the characters that would be there, and I wanted to delve into that because there's a good handful of choices that I would love to see make an appearance on this game.
Depends on what like the story is. Personally, but I can definitely see like some obscure picks getting in. Combustion Man, etc.
Combustion Man, I
Wonder how
see
they're
as a
gonna balance that.
possibility, and yeah, because he feels like he would be like a easy spam character. Because you're talking about like literally a Cyclops effect where be my.
Yeah, like the Cyclops effects is one thing.
Go back in the bookmarks. Because like it works with this. Let's see, the building up to the Last Airbender collaboration. That's not this. Avatar: The Last Airbender slate in the works. So So they're talking about. There's a graphic novel. There was Avatar: Seven Havens sequel animated series. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Jesus, February 2025. Avatar: The Last Airbender seasons 2+3. An action RPG AAA game. The graphic novel Ashes of the Academy that's coming out that either came out this year or was coming out. It was March 25th. And then you have Aang: The Last Airbender. That's January 20th, 2026. And the release date for this game is... Oh, it doesn't know yet, but it's just the closed beta is what's on the table right now. So this is going to be a next year release, it's safe to say. By the time this beta comes out, it's going to be in December when we get the closed access. So this is going to be an official 2026 release. We can probably just summarize. So this can be in line with a lot of the Avatar projects. Because I remember back in 2024, they talked about a handful of the Avatar projects in order to put more of a well-rounded perspective in the original era, as well as some more in Korra's era, before they continue into the next chapter, wherever it is that next chapter is trying to go, right? So there's a chance that characters from this novel, or like you said, those like weird niche characters that I didn't think could probably be in a fighting game or have any type of prowess in a fighting game, they probably could get in here for the one time. Or it could also include new characters that have never been seen before, which, if the fighting game is well timed, it can go that route very gloriously and puts a good spotlight on new and old characters together.
I do agree. I always have concerns. I want to see what it looks like. Like, just have it in my hands for a little bit before I give it a judgment. There's Avatar's one of those games, and like, it'd be one of those games where if it gets done poorly, I don't think they'll have enough good grace from the backlash to really recover, if that makes sense.
Which kind of makes some sense, because this is like a really beloved IP. The IP is really loved, so like all these other games that they're talking about trying to release will still prosper, even if it has the one fighting game in the entry that is not good or not marketable.
Yeah. Right.
They say here the first fighting playable reveal for Legends includes Aang, Zuko, Katara, Toph, Sokka, Azula. Oh, I already said Katara twice.
Yeah, they said Katara twice.
Yeah, unless you meant Korra, which I'm pretty sure that's what they meant to say, because Korra's right on the cover girl, so you can't miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, minor spelling mistake. You love Katara so much you listed her twice. Yes, you did. 12 characters, and that's the thing. 20 characters, 12 characters at launch is like crazy when you think about that concept.
Yeah, for a 1v1, it's fairly large.
I think it's a 1v1.
I think. It's Teams?
Go to the Steam store. Coming soon. And it's a fast-paced 1v1 fighter.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we're going back to the... And that's something else, too, is that we're going back to one-on-ones, and that way there can be something else that pivots from team fighters. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell we ended up in a team or tag fighter era for, like, the last few years.
Fighters. Because fighters came in right around the time where Marvel was getting removed and Infinite was supposed to come out, right? Fighters killed Infinite because it was a bigger IP with a more likable visual style. It had the perfect little storm behind it. It carried us in, and then they wanted to repeat the cycle because they gave us a bunch of single-player games all through COVID. Now they want to fill the power gap.
As long as they're trying to balance it out. Because after Fighters, you had Well, there was a lot of there was a lot of games that tried to come for fighters that couldn't honestly do it. And then in the tag department, you have your Nin Impact. You got your the Marvel Tokon that's on its way in. You got your Invincible Versus that's on its way in.
Oh yeah, I forgot that game existed.
Yup. We had Mortal Kombat 1 is not seeing itself out the door, but it's on the sideline right now. But it's still getting support, so it's not in the anthology of disappointment just yet.
It's just at the door.
Yeah, it's just at the door. What else? Strive isn't finished. Strive's getting its 2.0. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of like the big games that were supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, actually, Uni's probably the only one. Uni's the only one where I think they count as a new game.
Yeah, because it was just last year that it got here.
Yeah.
So you're a unique flow system, movement-centric gameplay. It's a single-player campaign with an original narrative. Combo trial, so we're good there. Selectable support characters influence the fighting style and grant special moves. So it's not a tag game. It's just you have supporting characters in the background that enhance the one-on-one experience.
It's a game with support. It's an assist game.
Yeah, it's an assist game, but you're not actually having assists in the play style. If I'm looking at this right, I'd have to actually from what I've seen in the market thing here, there is no assists aren't actually like in here in order to extend combos or do neutral for you. So it just enhances moves and whatnot that you can probably gain access to. So kind of like a core system or whatnot. Oh, that was the other one I didn't think about. 2XKO. That's the new shit that also came out this year. That was one I was not thinking of, where it's a 2v2 or it could be a 1-on-1.
I do like that idea. At least to keep it like interesting for a longer term. You can start using the different formats for the different seasons of like ranked and everything.
Yeah.
So like you do one and one, maybe do a season with both to start off so people get used to the system. And then go for the tour. You have two options normally, but the main one will be swapping every other year.
Yeah. Best in class, netcode, and cross. Oh, this one eluded me. I didn't even see that. So yeah, we do got rollback and pending crossplay.
Yeah.
You see, this entices the other argument about the bare minimum that I don't want to delve into in this segment. Because it's just like, that's like a really big cut above the rest, simply because, okay, rollback, you didn't have to ask for it. Crossplay is usually something that you don't think about at the beginning. That's definitely a this generation thing that very few games have the option or the honor of having to close up that community dividend gap.
Yeah. Which I want to say, with them advertising crossplay, it is good. I hope their technical side is good enough for it.
That's the part
we've seen good and bad crossplay, because that will then directly affect the other aspects of it.
Exactly. So I think right now, like the most terrible crossplay I've seen was probably like Power Rangers Battle of the Grid.
That one was. I don't think that one got better, but I don't think it's amazing.
I'm sure it probably got better over time. I just don't know if it got. But obviously, it didn't get better to where it could help the gameplay better at the time, because it still helped put his foot in the grave faster. It's just that the inclusion of Xbox like warped the whole grid and engine that shit was ran on, because they weren't able to fully integrate it correctly.
And then I see. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea how they would fix it anyway, but I hope the Avatar game at least gets those two right and focuses on like polishing it.
Yeah, because I think that's the main thing that I feel the beta test the alpha test is gonna help out with, is to figure out where specifically you need to polish this at, and then you can move from there before you start touching up.
Everything else.
Yeah, before you start touching up everything else. Look how they classified this in the anime section in order to kind of help this detailing along.
Okay.
Okay. And then, what was this last thing I wanted to take a look at here for this section of it? Was to look into the Avatar Seven Havens casting call sheet. Because this could probably give an idea of what's also chimed in with that video game. So today we at Night Edge.
New show?
Yeah, this was to be the follow-up after Korra, I believe.
Yeah, I think Korra did her job, I guess.
Let's read up. Alright, the Night Edge Media. Because I feel this also will chime in with the other Avatar media. It's just how we get there. So Night Edge Media, we're giving a casting call sheet from Avatar Studios' is upcoming Avatar Seven Havens for several series regulars and recurring characters. Casting call sheet. The casting was done back in late 2023 alongside the roles of Pavi and Nisha. We're given the full character description for Pavi's airbending companion, Jay. The only other main character not mentioned here is Captain Karthik, the adult guardian of Nisha, as well as casting calls. Each name is a code name for their real character name, and also was made under the working title Aurora. Seeking teens or young adults to play twins, 9-year-old girls, South Asian, twin herons, and mirror of one another, independent, kind, and resourceful. Priya is a reluctant hero who avoids altercations or fighting, but still believes in helping people using her creativity, and wits. She's a talented musician and loves to make up songs with her timbre, the guitar-like instrument. Due to a traumatic event in her early childhood, Priya is an amputee, but her disability never stops her from trying to help people. Adjectives are quirky, cautious, empathetic, grounded. Nikki is the snarky opposite of Priya. She loves her powers and the attention it affords her, but her biggest fear is to be forgotten or not accepted by others. Nikki is awkward but puts on a face of super confidence to hide the fact that she feels like a fish out of water. Despite her cocky attitude, Nikki is also an innovator, and her wild side is useful at times. Adjectives is sharp, snarky, wild, mischievous background. Oh, mischievous, alright. Background is South Asian, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, India. Open to one actor playing both roles. Note, an accent is not required, but if opting for an accent, please provide a take without one. Series regulars. Jin, series male, seeking male teens or young adults to play teen, 16 to 20-year-old, Southeast Asian man/boy, Tibetan background. Uki, seeking teens or young adults to play a teen, 15-year-old indigenous actor, any gender. Amao, Fang, Ping. Yeah, they're really covering a lot of their things here in order to make it as realistically and statistically accurate as possible for how they want to do with the geographical setting for the next piece of the story.
It's not bad. a little concerning, but I think it's a good concern here. But hope I hope that it actually resonates with people. Korra was a trip for a lot of folks.
Korra was like, I don't in any way. I don't think Korra was bad. I think Korra hit a lot of very great things on the nail for next generation after Aang's era. But there's also some things that it debatably did wrong or questionable that is open to discussion. It's free for criticism. As good as it was, there's more good than bad, but the bad is also rather notable.
Yeah, and it's the
Also, this isn't related to her this isn't related to her bisexuality. I'm talking about deeper things in the writing, not of the story, not the characters.
No, I don't care about like the character traits in this one. It is the character traits here, just not that character trait. You care less.
Yeah,
it's for someone to be the Avatar, and like she was just the same by the end of it, just with PTSD.
Right, like it felt like the with Korra, it felt like the incident with Zahir kind of
never happened.
Yeah, it never happened in order to build genuine growth when she got out of the wheelchair. She just went back to being her. Like slightly mature you could debate, but the thing is that you need to be like noticeably more mature, and that's where I didn't see that.
And it actually got worse for her after the fact.
Kuvira?
Because it started affecting everything. Her relationships, and then Kuvira, I think was.
Hang on.
Because it was like weird.
4, I believe that
she just, like, for being a friend, she took some really weird options for friendship. If that makes sense. Because I know some people still haven't watched it. Watch it if you please. It's a good enough show. Like, we'll have fun. But
it holds up. Like the combat and the choreography absolutely hold up to the test of time, and just even for season 4, I just wish season 4 was more publicly seen. I didn't like the fact that they took the book 4 like off the general viewing air, and then you have to like find a different way in order to watch it, in order to figure out the actual continuation of the story or closing of the story.
Yeah. Which at the same time, it came on Nickelodeon. We should have expected it. It's not that Nick's bad with it. It's sort of just what they do now, right? Like they follow the lead that Disney set of like a lot more control.
The other shortcut the writers took was certain decisions to make Korra unquestionably evil. Even though her bringing the Earth Kingdom back together was a good thing, they needed to throw concentration camps and ethnic cleansing into the mix so we can say, yup, she's bad. When we get to her emotional reveal in the last episode, a lot of her decisions make sense, but some don't. What does her fear of powerlessness have to do with ethnic cleansing? Why does she need re-education camps? Is it so no one ever disagrees with her and thus they are never a threat to her? I just found certain narrative decisions don't align with Kuvira's backstory and were only added so the writers can say she is evil without any doubt. The other shortcut the writers took...
Okay, that part right there. Like, because that was one of the main writings here when they're trying to introduce the next bad guy, is because every bad guy before this point was introduced with some type of bounds or backstory to better highlight the means to the motive, and why they went to this extremity to make this vision happen, which is why they're in opposition to the Avatar. Hers I never really got, outside her being like an outcast or the black sheep of the Earth Nation. I never really understood like what was really her end game for what she wanted to do for that season.
She probably didn't do much. She probably didn't really do like. I definitely think people overestimate her being the worst, or like exaggerate her being the worst Avatar. But she did the same thing someone else did, right?
Kuvira
so like
or Korra?
I can't. Korra. She did the same thing someone else did, right? Just in a more destructive way. I think her consequences were the harshest of all, but I believe I want to see what happens after in the new series before I give it anything specific, right? Because we don't know how her story ends fully. Like, we know how the Legend of Korra ends, but we don't know how Korra ends.
Right. Realism, mature themes. Yeah, like a lot of these are here. It's just that the problem is that they're just not all with like the character's growth cycle from season 3's close off to season 4's start and then into season 4's ending. And then there was also the what was it? There was all, if I remember correctly, she also at that point she also still lost the connection with connecting with the prior avatars.
Yeah, she got rid of the prior avatars, which, if I'm being honest, I don't think they actually helped guide Korra as much as it was like.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I think that was more towards like her. I feel like it was like for a borderline to coming of age, delving in. It was like a coming of age story with a massive like superhero responsibility role versus finding my place in this society and understanding how my powers are supposed to help shape this or to help not dictate but to help govern my society or to help govern the society that I'm a part of.
Yeah, because if we're like comparing avatars, we know of like the worst avatar before Korra was the surfer avatar, who again was a waterbender.
Oh,
Seems to be a pattern. And Eric, and he basically only snapped out of being a terrible avatar when his wife got her face snatched. So
yeah,
like
he was good until that happened and then went the tainted.
no, he was good on one side but bad on the other.
All right, food for thought. But again, all these themes and whatnot, I think, can also set a narrative for shaping the whole video games paradigm, along with the story as they update the story. Like if they're delving more into Aang, I would like to see them delve more into Korra. So when they do Seven Havens, I'm actually kind of curious because that could actually shed a light to both and can probably give more of an idea on Korra's continuation, which could probably hint at what's the closing of her cycle.
Yeah.
Alright. And then
Which should give us a good idea of like what we're really walking into. Because Korra could have died and actually fixed things, but couldn't fix the Avatar connection. Right? But we don't know how everything else worked out. So we don't know how the world has shaped itself besides they don't like the Avatar anymore.
yeah. Iroh,
So here's guaranteed.
Cabbage Dude probably in the background. Ty Lee, I could probably see was Zuko's girlfriend. I could probably see in here.
Mine?
Yeah, I could probably see Mai in here. Let's see. Yeah, Ozai. You know, I didn't even think about Ozai. Ozai could definitely happen.
I think they're going to. I think it's going to be the avatars get their villain, which would, because the twin avatars, I guess, are opposite sides. Possibly.
What they did say Azula.
because if we're looking at it like a Naruto Sasuke, Azula Zuko,
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
and that would mean because Aang never really fought Azula.
I want to say. Hang on, let me look. I want to say she did if it wasn't a brief confrontation.
Indeed, very brief. She hunted him.
Here we go.
But I think the closest they got was like her sneak attack kill.
Oh, it was at the
with
drill.
Zuko.
It was at the drill because the other time where they fought, it technically wasn't a one-on-one. That was underneath the crossroads in chapter 2. That was Azula and Zuko. But the main time they first was the Ba Sing Se breach. The Ba Sing Se breach. We'll take a look at that real quick.
Momo, get out of here! Thanks, Momo. I owe you one. Now all I need is a... Actually, that is what I needed for once.
But anyway, that's mainly what I wanted to show to go over that. Like here was the only time where they actually did have a official one-on-one.
Yeah, and this is early.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's not memorable because like okay, the drill fight, that makes sense. No, like the memorable fights with her are with Zuko.
That's true. That is like the most memorable one was the Agony Kai.
Not even the Agni Kai.
The one before that?
In general, Zuko is there.
Oh, the first when they teamed up, like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's Zuko, Katara, Azula, Zuko, Katara, well, Zuko, Azula, their entire rivalry throughout their childhood and all that.
Yeah.
And then you have them jumping the Avatar. Their first meeting where they are just going at it. It's like very, like that's Zuko and Katara's final fight. Zuko's redemption arc finishes there. They're proving he can be better than his sister. Katara sees it and proves and provides a supporting role for Zuko in that
battle.
As she has seen like the whole of Zuko's story
Yeah, full
and
circle.
how he approached it. Right.
Yeah.
Azula's fights afterward, otherwise, are like Katara, Katara and Aang. But like Aang has 2 fights, and they get jumped in one, and this one is the draw. I I see like I don't see Azula go after Aang as often and come out on top. Versus like when Azula's they're like random fighting and be like like chase fighting or whatever. It if it's against Zuko, usually it's a little bit longer.
Right. Yeah, with Zuko, there's more building in those battles, whereas with Azula, it's kind of like a cut, dry, combative contest.
Mm-hmm. And I felt like she was more used to expand her friend group's ideals more than her own.
Yes, because you notice that when it came to her, when she finally did inherit her father's power, she didn't really have anything. It was just a young girl drunk with power.
Mm-hmm.
So it was written perfectly. It was literally written perfectly.
Yeah, which is why I think she's there for Zuko as his dichotomy.
Yeah, the better half of like the Zuko's dynamic.
Yeah, because the one that appeared broken is whole, and the one that appeared whole was broken.
Yeah. See here, Zahir, possibly Tenzin, Kuvira, Kioshi, or Suki. Suki I could see in a game like this. Because Suki, Suki has her skin in Overwatch in order to kind of appeal with the whole fan throwing game plan like what Kiriko brings. So if she's here, I guarantee you she could probably have a watered down playstyle like Mai if they really wanted to do that.
I mean, I could see it. I can see them also doing Kyoshi just because the inspiration and have Suki as a skin.
Yeah, because with the way she does fans and she does martial arts using her fans and whatnot, along with actual martial arts, then I see the style.
Yeah.
Or a nerfed Chun-Li.
Probably nerf Chun-Li. Actually, it's probably just nerfed Mai, to be honest.
The Boulder. Oh, that's a grappler, easily. I could see that was a mile away. The Boulder would just be a grappler. He would literally be. They could literally get away with making him a zombie.
He'd be a joke character.
A jail character?
Joke.
A joke character.
Damn.
A joke character. I feel like a joke character could probably either be the cabbage dude or probably Bolin.
No, I think it'd be the Boulder. I think my idea for the Boulder is because we only see him get knocked out. So I'm more aligned with because we've seen Bolin fight not well, but we've seen him fight better than the Boulder in this instance.
Yes. But the Boulder you did see him play what, 2 or 3 times before the one hit KO from Toph? So you got a pretty good idea about like how the Boulder would want to play. And he's like a heavy lifter, Grappler type of vibe character.
Which is like that's his design. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see that happening. If they did put a Grappler in, I see him being a Grappler. I see Toph honestly probably being a Grappler. I
actually see Ty Lee being a Grappler.
That too. I see Ty Lee being a Grappler. I see Ty Lee being one of those like really niche characters that could actually have combos off of command grabs.
Laura.
Yeah.
I see Laura.
And then I don't.
4 more.
5 missing. Bolin.
Iroh. Okay, so what if it's Iroh, Fire Lord Ozai, Amon, Zahir, and
I didn't think about
probably
that.
one
Actually, I didn't think about that. That would make sense because Korra's the only odd one out that where there's no one here from her era.
her. Yeah. So and then you'd have like a choice between Bolin, his brother, Asami.
Oh yeah. The girl.
Azami, or like or the sister, right?
Was she a fighter? I can't remember if she had any fights in this in there.
She did at the beginning during the Amon arc.
Oh, okay.
And I personal note, still don't like this relationship, but not because of lesbian, because Korra's a terrible person.
That part. Like you went to her when you were still with the boy, Bolin's brother. Like, I don't understand like the morality of her.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay, Asami didn't expect it, whatever, cheated, and decided to break it off. I can respect that. Korra's the friend, supposedly. Friends don't do that.
Exactly. Like, you're supposed to be setting a better example. I mean, I know that's how the story was written, but like, hell, hero or not, honestly, you're just kind of a bitchy hero.
Yeah, like, so issues, and like, he did both friends wrong in the weirdest way. Like, actually, all three.
Bolin, I think, was the only one that got off. Bolin never did have an interest with anybody here. Bolin's interest was, quote unquote,
Bolin was Korra.
That emo chick.
No. Bolin was Korra, and then he got into it with the emo chick.
Wait, hang on. Wait, back up. Let me try and fathom here.
Unless I'm remembering the names wrong.
Hang on. Okay. So, all right. Korra, Mako were together first. Then Korra, Asami was an emotional pivot that got in the way of the Mako Korra. Okay, I'm remembering this correctly. And then he broke it off, or wanted to. He didn't break it off immediately. He broke it off later.
Yeah.
And then he slowly went to Asami.
Yes.
And
then so Bolin is.
And so Bolin Bolin was just kind of like the middleman in an emotional triangle that he didn't ask for.
Pretty much.
And then, if I remember correctly, by the end, when she was in the wheelchair or whatnot, I think.
Because I remember Korra. That was like first season? Yeah, it was first season because that was like their first. Korra got out. She was interested in Bolin's brother. Bolin asked her out. They went on a date. Bolin got his heart broken. She saw her kissing his brother. Blah blah blah.
Right.
They went to fight her mom.
Right. Yeah, that was it. Okay, and then that was where the misunderstanding kind of just grew.
Yep. And I'm like, you just ran through the entire friend group, then added someone and ran through them too. That's
just super trashy.
Yeah.
Like, sad part is, like, for this generation, I see emotional layerings like that actually happening in people's friends groups. That's why that's just like too real how that hit before its time.
Yeah, it was a little bit ahead of its time, to be honest.
It was, because like that's a little too real on how a hero can still kind of be trash at the end of the day. Like, you were cut out for this, but you still have like your own individual growing to do.
And like immediately after, we get like other shows doing something similar in more ways. Like what's Homelander's one, The Boys or something?
Yeah, like The Boys. I was thinking more like Steven Universe, but yeah, that was. Yeah, but home with the boys. Yes.
Steven Universe. I didn't watch enough of Steven Universe to care.
The mother was
completely honest.
All right. Long story short, on how I feel like that connects to this is because the boy's mother was like a huge war hero. She's one of the 4 that oversees the planet. She's a war hero on Earth, but she is a very horrible woman on a home planet.
She's just a horrible person.
Yes, and little by little as the series goes on, what was it? Steven was basically paying his mother's mistakes. Yeah, Pink Diamond. Rose Quartz was her name. It was Rose Quartz disguised as Pink Diamond. Pink Diamond disguised as Rose Quartz. Yeah,
or Pink Diamond. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because Rose Quartz, when she was on Earth, she met Greg. Then they got together. She had Steven, although no one really knows exactly how a rock could give birth per se. But it's more so like a power transfer of literal like life transfer. So she gives birth. No one knows whether or not her diamond either cracked or it was just transferred to him. More or less it was just transferred to him. But no one knows exactly like how she died per se.
Okay, so for all they know, she's still alive. They continue to this idea for some time.
Yeah.
Sometime, and it begins to scar him because then he gets his identity crisis.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the pivot I was talking about in terms of like a war hero that can still be a terrible person, but with added layers to it that kind of complicate that process because you have to understand the story on why she made these decisions. So she is logically a bad person, despite the morality of it makes sense why
the choices she made.
Yes.
Yes. Which that can apply to everyone. Reasonable.
Yeah.
It's just the extremes that one went to and the extremes that another went to rationalize it. One is at least you can at least go, okay, I can understand. The other one you just go, you're just selfish.
That part. And that's the part that you want to also highlight sometimes because there are just times where you're going too far out of the way to justify something where it's just selfish at that point.
Yeah. But we need growth if we're going to be selfish in a show where your prior grew from a literal child to a basically war general.
Yeah. And then here you got the same issue of like non-growth, where this is where it pivots because the growth process happened there in Steven Universe because he grew through the mother's lens, and it helped to shape his own and what his identity is, since the whole nature of his identity and his powers are all directly from his mother.
Yeah, it's
as opposed to here with oh, go ahead.
No. I'm trying to find words.
And then as opposed to here with Korra's story, where all of her powers come from the times before, specifically, what was it? All like her direct successor is Aang in this instance, and so him specifically and all the others in her line hierarchy come from her in order to help shape her powers and their identity. That's one step. 2, Korra's own individual step is where it's lacking in the maturity aspects later on. Now, if they wanted to do this pivot where she basically has this emotional 3-way, where we get nothing in the end of all of this, then the more mature tone here, and since Nickelodeon has no shame to having weird mature undertones or dark pivots that happen in a cartoon show, at least at that time, would be to have her kind of isolate herself from her group from wronging everybody.
Yeah, have some form of responsibility be taken if we're gonna sit here and hope.
Yeah, and if people want to argue that that's what happened at the beginning of season 4, no, that's not. That's her kind of been her own self-pity area because of the irresponsibility she had in taking down the what was it? Z-
Is it here?
yeah, taking down Zahir and taking down Zahir at the cost of her powers and just being reckless at that point. You could argue it was a necessary sacrifice in order to save the betterment of mankind at that point, but it's still a reckless decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, she made a reckless decision. She should have learned from it, and then she made the reckless decision again. So, like, can we really? It's fun to have a corrupted hero. I just question the defense of Korra in a lot of these aspects.
Right.
I can give her. She is a good fighter. She is a good avatar on paper, just not by results.
Carrying out. Yeah, the results. Yeah.
Which is fine. Not everyone can get the results they desire and everything, right?
Right. Weirdly true. Now, let me see here. You know what? Weirdly enough, I actually do see Jinora probably being a possible on roster pick for
Yeah, that's
roster.
the person I was thinking of. Jinora might be base roster, but I think actually she might.
I'm just trying to think, what would her playstyle even be like?
She was just a more agile Aang.
Yes.
She was a more agile Aang. So if Aang is our Ryu, she'd be like not a Ken.
I think she would probably be like Guy.
Yeah.
Or like you would be like the direct go-to
end
guy.
up getting your Ibuki guy relationship probably, right?
Yeah.
As well as allowing themselves some room to not throw out all the really good DLC early. They can always come back and fix base roster with moveset updates.
And remember, this is just 12 at the time right now. That still doesn't mean that when they do the official release, they might actually surprise us with one or two more.
Yeah, 1 or 2, maybe 4.
This is just base roster right now at beta. We're at beta's doorstep right now. So there's nowhere to go but up from here.
Pretty much.
But yeah, Jinora, I definitely see being a base roster person. So yeah. But the thing here to balance this out, if it's going to be 12, because we got Aang, Zuko, Katara, Toph, Sokka, Azula, that's 7. And then she's 8, so 9, 10, 11, 12. So the other 4 people, if they're balancing that out, at least 3, maybe 4 of them have to be from Korra's era.
Not necessarily. Right? Can we go back? Who are they?
So let's think about this.
If we're ignoring the fact that Aang and Korra are avatars, so they have to show up. That is the whole point of the game.
Yeah, so we're taking that out. If we're taking that out, that's 10. So take out Aang and Katara here. So Zuko, Katara, Toph, Sokka, Azula.
Right. So
that's 5. That's 5 popular picks from Aang.
So you have the villain. Technically, I guess. What does some count that? Yeah. Amon. Yeah. Zuko's tech could possibly count as the villain, even if he is in this form as the reformed.
You know what? I didn't think about that. If they wanted to do the heroes villains trope layout, they could take that route, which means that Korra's would just be probably Amon.
Yeah, it would be Amon, Zahir.
Possible.
That's the case. Then you get 3 teammates. 3 teammates. Probably the first DLC is a Korra teammate.
Probably.
So, because it looks like a list that's cut off right now.
Yeah.
So,
because these are just the 8
Sokka.
Because these are just the 8 that were confirmed. When you look at the visual trailer, you can see them all that are broken down in there. So those are the 8 that are actually confirmed.
Yeah.
So it's just the other 4.
We get the 2 villains. We get 2 members of the team, which actually that's just Bolin. That's Bolin and his brother, or
so it could be
Bolin and Mako, or Mako and Azami. If we're being honest.
Damn, I don't know. Both are viable because they could do the brothers and put them in that they didn't show because they already have the brother and sister here that they did show. or they could do
Yeah.
or like what you said, they could do Asami and Mako, which is the background couple.
Yep. So now we got the brother and sister duo coming in for the next season sometime. Sometime maybe they give you the first character and then the next character announces someone from an older season or whatever. Or first roster characters. What are we looking at then?
In terms of
how looking judging by this, right? We have two characters that are coming that we more or less know is like a villain and a hero, probably, and then two hero slots, maybe, to just sort of cheat.
This is possible. Oh, so so motion inputs are a thing on this game. Okay.
Okay, so motion inputs are fine. So there's a lot to still cover then.
I think so.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is all pretty much good that we can sit and review on and kind of let it simmer for the time being, and then just see where we go with this the weekend of when it's finally here, and see what that looks like. Because depending upon how lenient it is with this process, if you can or can't do, depending upon what you can and can't do that weekend, like I said, I'll literally just try and see if I can stream it, or if you can't, then I just make some private content of it on the channel until later on when you can post it during the secondary more extensive alpha, closed alpha they're talking about.
Yeah, I want to just watch. There's a lot here, even with like what I'm seeing. Right, I can appreciate the hand drawn art. It's just some of it does look stiff.
That part, and that's the thing, is that's another thing that comes in with this in order to really like sit and hash it out, and take it for a whole test run and figure out like how smooth is it, or are there like still like one or two like bulky fine points to it.
Yeah, because this, like, parts of it look very smooth. Like the air dash looks very smooth, although I am almost positive it is a V dash for like its direction. So I'm not a fan.
Definitely. Okay, so these are our supers. Where's the defensive sequence? There's a like full defensive offensive sequence.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back.
Is it that fitting?
It might have been Wong talking. Hang on. The pre-alpha footage.
Like that. Yellow surfboard. He did. Alright.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just an any direction dash. Wait, no. It's broken.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. That connected.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
It
whole
OTGs.
thing. So 1, 2.
Yeah, so the dive kick OTGs? Or is that was I on the map, or is that an assist call?
No, mine's just there in the background. That she didn't do anything,
Okay.
or it didn't look like she did anything in this particular thing there. So it would make sense that if she's here,
There, she's behind.
then it means it's probably the added assist or special move addition thing that goes with him that he's able to apply in this instance.
Okay. But like, where'd it go? Somewhere over here. That. Like, I understand it's supposed to be goofy.
Now that right there is some interesting mobility when you go to look at that. Like, because he technically didn't hit the ground on that.
Yeah, he just got hit out of the air.
Yeah, that's like something that Eno and Strive can do sometimes, where you still have like an extra air option off of your confirm on hit in a block string, or like the initial light button. There's an extra jump option you have off of there, so it's like you have two air options.
Mm-hmm. Because you have jump and you have dash.
Right.
I'm not sure. He might have a Dante dash for all we know. Wait, is it attackable?
Is it a what?
Is it attackable? Or was that just a really good transition?
Let's see. No, that was all like one sequence.
So it's a tag game, okay.
So Aang kind of has more mobility than what leads on here, so he might be like a good option for defensive spacing or defensive and offensive spacing with air options that he can just might be able to steal his turns. Steal his turns or create like finicky situations that you can kind of frame trap off of.
He can also just play a very zoning heavy game plan with it, sort of like Grimnir, where it's like just explosive normals zoning into whatever's needed.
Okay. Alright, it all adds to it. I'm super convinced. I'm just curious on where else that goes. So we still got to figure out how the people in the background play in terms of how they play in the background, or how these extra characters play in the background that allow you special moves. We still got to figure out the remaining 4 characters. Not a big deal, but just to see what they are or who they are. Got our speculations and pretty accurate thesis that goes behind it on who we think they are and why. And then how smooth does the game play when it actually gets here. So we'll know more or less next month when this thing goes live, and then we get a chance either watching gameplay on Twitch and YouTube, or watch the clips as they come through up on Twitter, and then see what that looks like. So we got a lot to look forward to in trying to break this down even more when we come back and revisit this FGC game.